Camera's rolling.
Baby, I'm too young to know any better, but I guess I'm just too old to care. I'm waiting on the morning light to clear the air. Now the sky is hung with regret, letting go that you may black. All the silence that keep me coming back. I'm the one that you hated. You know, the one you didn't want to believe, the one that you hated.
Good morning. Hello and welcome to The Big Show, hosted by me, Jimmy Smith. Alongside of me is my co-host, color commentator, Dwayne Ward. The Big Show is a podcast where we discuss modern day issues like men's health, masculinity, the hard truth about dating, and what makes a man a man. So it's time to get The Big Show started. Good morning, Dwayne. How are you?
Good morning. I am awake and ready to roll. What's up with that intro?
I was going to ask you, what is going on with that? Did we just become official?
I think we did. I think it happened. That was like that looked like that had a little bit of legitimacy to it. I mean, wow. I don't know. I'd love to hear what people are thinking on that one. What do you guys think of the intro there?
Yeah, you guys like that intro? I think Dwayne went through my Facebook pictures and stole some pictures and put the intro together. I think is what happened.
Yeah. I was like, get a couple pictures in there and all that good stuff. Okay, we got our first good response there. Good morning, guys. Love the new intro. Thank you, Sabrina.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We got Ashley.
Oh, Ashley. Hey, good morning, Ashley. She's a good friend of mine.
Oh, cool.
All right. So, Dwayne, we've got ourselves a show today. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of feedback and stuff. Like I mentioned, we got some people messaging me on Instagram, some people reaching out to me on Gmail, and they're asking me for some relationship advice or some dating advice, things like that. As a matter of fact, Ashley and I have been working together for a while. I learned her up pretty good, and she actually gave me a very good compliment a few weeks back. She's currently married. She was not married whenever her and I first started together, and she has now become married, and she says her relationship is better than it ever has been. So I appreciate that. I love her to death. She's a great friend of mine, and I want to see her do the best. So, but like I was saying is, I'm getting a lot of feedback and stuff. And of course, I do a lot more coaching with men than I do women, but I, of course, talk to both. Yeah. And there's a common denominator on a lot of what men's feedback is out there. They're talking about how it's tough out there in the market. They're talking about how it's tough out there when it comes to careers and dating and dealing with other men and women, things like that. And, one of the things I continue to tell people, especially men, is that you're going to have to suffer, and it's going to make you a better person for it. I tell you, There's nobody listening to this podcast right now who has not gone through suffering, because the way that life is it comes for us all. The suffering comes for us all. So if you know it's going to come for you, whether that's chosen suffering or whether that's unchosen suffering, you want to try to make the best that you can with that suffering that's coming your way. So I figured today, let's go ahead and discuss a really hot topic that people kind of get wrong every once in a while, or at least figure out that a lot of times people go, hey, why is this happening to me? Why is life always kicking me in the nuts? And the truth is that it happens to us all. We are not special. No one gets to avoid life suffering, and no one gets to have an easy life where they just coast right through it. Some of us have to go through more crap than others, but we all have to deal with it. Sabrina says it right. You're tested in the fire, and it's always the final product is what, how you handle it, I guess. But, talking about suffering and stuff, the more you develop as a man, Dwayne, I've noticed that the more choices that you get, the lazier or the less productive you are, the fewer choices that you get. So if you want the most choices in life, then you're going to have to push yourself into the realm of being uncomfortable, and you're going to have to take risks in life. And people do not like taking those kinds of risks because, like we mentioned, it's painful. There's a feel of failure. Sometimes that failure and that pain comes in monetary stuff where you lose a bunch of money trying to start a business, or you lose friends, or you lose time. But you're going to have to be productive and take risks if you want to live the best life that you possibly can. At the end of the day, you have to understand life is hard, and suffering will be a reoccurring visitor of your life. But as you level up as a man or woman, your choices actually get more attractive. In order to get there, you're going to have to make life decisions first. And when it comes to the suffering life supplies all of us, there's good news and there's bad news. So let's get to the bad news first. Let's talk about the bad news of suffering, okay? The bad news about suffering is that no matter how good of a person you are, life is not going to treat you any better.
Oh, God,
you're not going to be, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Life is not going to treat you any better just because you're a good woman or a good man. Not going to be able to avoid suffering. It's going to come your way. The good news, though, because there's good news. The good news is that you get to choose your hard. You get to choose your suffering. And trust me, chosen suffering is much better than unchosen suffering. So let me explain the difference between chosen and unchosen suffering, because there's a clear difference.
Okay.
Chosen suffering is what happens when you choose the challenge, like when you choose the pain. Examples of what chosen suffering would be like if you decided to get on a fitness journey, or if you're studying for college, you're cutting back on luxuries to save money, you're training for a marathon, things like that. All of those require suffering, but you chose that suffering yourself. You know, you chose to train for a marathon. You chose to go to college, and you knew that there was going to be an amount of suffering in there. You don't get to avoid the suffering, but you get to choose the suffering. That's what I mean when I say chosen suffering. Now, unchosen suffering is the stuff we don't like. Unchosen suffering is a suffering that life gives you without your consent. So examples of unchosen suffering. I mean, look, here's the reality. And I'm not telling anyone listening to this anything they don't already know. Yeah. Unchosen suffering is going to happen to you. Yeah. And it already has happened to you. If you're above the age of 14, it's already happened. Your parents will pass away. Your loved ones are going to die. There'll be friends that will unfortunately betray you. You'll lose your job, and your relationships in life are going to end. Those are the things that unchosen suffering will bring us. Your body will eventually fail you. You'll become sick. You'll become old. These are things that are going to happen that you have no control over. The only way to prepare yourself for unchosen suffering is with chosen suffering. You can elect to put yourself in the fire, like Sabrina said. She said it great. You can elect to put yourself in the fire and temper the steel that you are made of, a hardened steel of your choosing. The steel that you chose to temper yourself with, a foundation of strength, a foundation that'll last a test of time and shield you from things like life's unchosen suffering. By you purposely choosing difficult things, you'll arm yourself against those difficult situations. It's going to suck. I'm not saying it's not going to, but think about how much more fragile you would be if you hadn't overcome all these things. I mean, every single successful person that I know and that has a good perspective of their success has elected to do the hard things on a regular basis. They knew that they would suffer whether or not they took action or whether or not they did not take action. But instead, these people who are successful, they chose to pick up the suffering of their choice instead of allowing life to make the choice for them. So, men, hear me out and hear me well. Life is hard, but you get to choose your hard. Men do not get to live life on easy mode. Men have to play this game of life on hard mode. If anyone has ever played video games, Dwayne, I'm gonna take a gamble and say that you might have played one or two in your
One
life.
or two. Yeah.
Okay. So if those are people who know anything about video games, you start the game, you create a character, and somewhere before the game starts, you get a choice of what mode you want to play that video game on. It's usually defaulted for like normal mode or whatever it is, but there are some choices where you can make it easy. You can make it like normal, you can make it hard, or you can make it impossible.
Right.
And whenever you play video games, there are rewards that come along with those video games. It could be a reward from like armor or weapons or money or vehicles. It all depends on what game you're playing, right? You guys get it. But the harder you chose to play that game on, the better the rewards you get for taking that challenge. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and then also if you choose the harder level, you don't use cheat codes. I'm gonna talk to the gamers out there, but you don't use cheat codes. You get better at the game quicker. I mean, you're gonna suffer a lot, but you're gonna get better at the game quicker. So that then, if you play somebody else that did take life on easy mode, you're gonna own them. I mean, you're gonna beat them every time. And again, not saying it needs to be a competition, but you're making yourself better. You're improving yourself. You're suffering with the repeated losses earlier on, but it helps you get better. It's not like a diamond analogy. You take that lump of coal and under pressure and heat, you form that perfect diamond, and you just have to work hard to get there.
So think about what Dwayne said. Now apply that to life. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you play the game of life on easy mode, you do not get hard mode benefits.
Mm-mm.
If you play the game on hard mode and you win, you get hard mode benefits, and hard mode benefits are very nice to have. Very nice to have. So this is kind of what I'm saying. You don't, especially men, we don't get to choose to play the game of life on easy mode. Men have to play this game of life on hard mode, but you do get to choose your hard. Here's what I mean by that. Marriage is hard. Divorce is hard. Choose your hard. Obesity is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Being fit is hard. Choose your hard.
Right.
Being in debt is hard. Being financially disciplined is hard. Choose your hard. Communication is hard. Not communicating is hard. Choose your hard. Knowing God is hard, and living a life without God is hard. Choose it. Having meaning, long-lasting relationships are hard to do. Living life with no one who loves you is hard to do. Choose your hard. You see, life is never going to be easy. It will always be hard, but we get to choose which hard we choose. That's the difference between chosen suffering and unchosen suffering. So if you just understand, which I know many of you do, that life is not going to allow you to not choose suffering. You're going to have to swallow that pill. But if you know you're going to, then doesn't it make perfect sense that you choose the pill that you swallow instead of life choosing it for you? Because even like these guys, I get the biggest questions I get from men are about women. We're obsessed with you beautiful women. Damn you guys with your femininity and your damn good looks and your hair, and you smell good. Yeah. Anyways.
Well, it's good. And, I'd like to hear like some from folks out there in TV land on, what Jimmy's talking about, like times that you've picked you went easy mode and it turned out X, and you picked hard mode, it turned out Y. And what are some challenges that you'd face, overcame, or ones that you didn't face and didn't overcome just from not taking those next steps or working hard to fix it, and kind of where you're at now, and then maybe some reflection. Of course, my life, as everyone else's, has a bunch of them. One is just a recent one. The decision to start addressing my health concerns and trying to get better. That's been like the low-hanging fruit, example for today's topic. I had been over the years just getting in my, happy, chunky phase. And I had been fit for a while, but, life and all the excuses that we all come up with. And, Jimmy here helped me out. And he said, hey, get off your dead ass and start doing something about it. And, we started doing different things. I can tell you a month and a half, I want to say now, 2 different people. I'm I am fit, I'm saying physically, or how I hold myself, a completely different person. And I'm seeing the benefits. Here's a hard note that's going to hit everybody. Last night, and I was actually joking before the show, I went to a gala last evening where I had to dress in a suit. Well, I hadn't worn this same suit since Christmas time, and at Christmas time, I was like, "Can I get away with popping the button out of my extra large pants that that I got fitted about a year ago, because I can't even fit into those pants?" And
you were going to leave it unbuttoned. You're going to leave
I was going to leave it unbuttoned, do the buckle trick. I don't know if we all
We've all been there.
Okay, we've all been there. Okay, good. Well, last night, lovely bride went ahead and got my suit out for me. She's like, "You're going to this damn gala," because she likes to show me off for some strange reason. But I get my pants on, and I felt like I was a rapper, because the pants just fell off me. I mean, it was ridiculously huge. So I actually had to do the belt trick differently. I had to like fold everything over and crank it, and so my pants would stay up. And the jacket, I looked like, now there was fat guy, little suit. It was basically little guy in fat suit kind of thing. But it was the change there is, had I not done the things I'd done over the last month and a half to 2 months, and I've again lost a lot of weight, I would be going, "Ooh, I'm gonna have to wear sweatpants to this gala thing," because I couldn't fit my drawers. But last night I'm sitting here, everything is very loose on me. All my clothes are loose. I'm gonna go out and buy new clothes or something. But that was the benefit of having listened to you and said, "I'm going to start doing the right thing, eating better." I had to turn down cheeseburgers and pizza and all the horrible things I love to eat all the time, and actually start doing something. I'd probably have lost more had I done more things, but making those changes, the benefit, the rewards for doing that, it worked out well for me. And of course, now I got to continue that journey, but it's a choice every single time I see a cheeseburger, but it's a choice. You have to make those changes. Anyway, I just wanted to share that, but hopefully I had some folks comment on some of the things that happened in their lives. Let's see here.
Yeah. I posted Aaron's.
Oh, you did? Okay. All right. I was kind of like in my head, just thinking, talking. I didn't get to see a lot of the comments. So
if you guys have a quick story about something that you did that was very difficult and scary to do, put a quick story in the comments section, and we'll read it. Let's inspire other people from your story.
And I know a number of people that are out there that, again, folks that have been joining into your show, initially from Dad Talk Today. They had that base there, and there were people that have been going through the custody issues, and there was those choices there. And again, it's not 100% across the board, but we have people that are like, what? I'm not going to sit down and have them take my kids from me, have them take everything from me. They're going to fight. And, those people that are fighting and doing what they can, educating, getting themselves educated, fighting the system, being a part of this community and all that, they're the ones that are, that diamond. They're honing their skills or sharing the information. Yeah, it's not overnight, but those are going to be things that are going to be built up and shared over the generations. The impacts the things that people are doing now are going to be seen now and in the future by them and other people. Again, it may not be the immediate gratification of getting your kids more, or getting to see your kids right out of the gate. It's going to take time, but the not choosing something is going to guarantee that you'll never see your kids, and then your kids will never see their kids, and so on and so forth. And it's going to be worse for everybody. And that's, having people
either way, it's suffering.
You're going to suffer. Yeah. You got to pick it. Exactly.
And that's what I mean. The chosen compared to the unchosen suffering. The unchosen suffering in that scenario would be you don't get to see your kids. The chosen suffering is you're going to spend money and time fighting for them in the court, and both options really suck. But I would tell you that we all know which one of those two choices would work out best for him. Is fighting for your kids.
Right.
So if you gotta eat shit and one's red and one's yellow, freaking at least pick your color, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Put a little food color in there and go for it. And you're going to have more of a chance of success fighting for your children. and doing it the right way and planning and all that. And there's, you know, a lot of more to talk about on that, but I will be here all day.
Guys, don't forget to hit the like button. There's a bunch of people
yeah.
here watching this, and we only have one like. So if you guys don't mind, hit the like button for me. But it kind of reminds me, a couple weeks ago, I was doing a consultation with someone. It was a gentleman, and we were talking about this very subject about suffering. And he was asking me about, you know, he wants to get married. He's not having a very good time on the dating market. And I go into helping him understand that he's got to build himself up. He has to build enough value up in the eyes of the women that he wants in order for these women to pick him, because it's hyper competitive out there for men. And, you know, he gave me a little bit of a pushback, which is fine because I don't mind pushback. But, you know, he did not like the fact that we have to work so hard, because we have to work so hard to get women when we have to work so hard in, you know, our bodies and, you know, our careers and all these things. And I had to go down this road about the chosen and the unchosen suffering to help him kind of level set his mind, to help him understand, buddy, the fight that you've been fighting, that's the minor leagues, my friend. Yeah. And you're talking about major league results. Like you want to win the major league trophy here. You're playing minor league ball. You haven't suffered enough. So I had to level set his mentality. And some of the things that I was sharing with him, and we've talked about this before, is that, you know, I let him know that men, we have to fight this life on hard mode. You know, women get to live life on easy mode. And I know that it's not going to go over very well when women hear this, but let me explain. Okay. Women live life on easy mode, and I'm especially referring to more modern women, 35 and under. 35 and under is what I'm really referring to. Life gets exponentially harder for women as they start to age up a little bit, and they have to take care of families and, you know, things like that. But the younger women, they live life on easy mode. And that's why women don't oftentimes get hard mode benefits. And you hear the equality argument and all these things, because they don't put in equal work, but they want the unbalanced rewards of it. You know, let me give you an example of what I mean by that. Okay. Does anyone think that the women that they see in VIP had to pay her way to get there?
Yeah. Great example.
No.
Yeah. No, none of them.
No.
Yeah.
When you see a man in VIP, you know for sure that man had to pay the cost to get in that room.
Oh yeah.
So there's an example, and there's many of them. I'll give you a few more. But when you see women in VIP, we almost always know that she did not take her wallet out to pay to get in VIP. They almost always were asked to get in there, but every single man had to pay his way to get in VIP. Those bottles are $300-400 a bottle, and when guys are holding one in each hand, they had to pay the cost. When women are holding one in each hand, it was given to her. When women are on Instagram taking pictures in front of or inside of Bugattis or Lamborghinis or Ferraris, do any of us think that's her car?
No.
When she's in Dubai, when she's in France, when she's in Paris, does anyone honestly think that she paid her ticket to get there? No.
Yeah, no.
Okay. No. That's what I mean when I say easy mode, hard mode. You see, when you see fine women on yachts, do anyone think they had to pay to get on that yacht? No. All they had to do was be young and pretty. But every man on that yacht had to pay his way. He either had to pay the ticket to get on the yacht, the fuel cost, or he had to spend $50 million to buy the damn yacht. Hard mode, fellas. Hard mode. Okay. We play this game on hard mode. So let me tell you, let me give you some examples on whenever I'm coaching men and when I'm coaching women. And we've talked about this before. And for guys who are kind of tuning in, don't know much about my show, I want you to kind of listen up here, because this will be interesting. Whenever I do consultations with women, and I'm referring to modern women, let's call it under 40 years old, 35 and under, I ask women what kind of men they want. And just like Dwayne and I have mentioned before, these women will give a laundry list of things that these men must have in order for them to even be in their space, to even be in their attention.
Fixes.
He's got to be He's the sixes. He's got to be 6 foot tall. He's got the six. He has to make 6 figures a year. He has to have a 6-pack. He has to have a 6-inch Johnson. All these things. Okay. He's got to be charismatic. He's got to be great in bed. He's got to make her feel good. He's got to be safe. He's got to be a fighter. It's all these things, right? And I sit there and I just remind them. All I do, I don't tell women what they should want. You're free to want what you want. Yeah. All I do is I coach people on saying to them, the kind of men or the kind of women that you want, are you able to attract and acquire and keep these men or these women, right? Because the kind of man you just described is a very rare man. You're talking the top 5, top 1% man. And if 99% of all the women out there want the same 1% of man, then that 1%, that 10% of men that you guys are all looking for, those men have the options of 99% of all of you.
Right.
And that's why these guys are hard to find, guys who are being or want to be monogamous. Why would they be monogamous when they have the run of the litter? These guys have spent 20, 30 years building themselves into the kind of man that you would want. Why would they choose just one woman? And that's the rub. Then I ask them, the kind of man that you would want, what would he want from you? What does he get from you? And they're baffled. They're baffled.
Me.
Yeah, me, this. They get this. And I'm like, what does that mean? Well, I mean, they get me. And then I asked them to be more specific because they were very specific when they were talking about the kind of man they want, but they're very vague when they talk about what he gets from her. And that's the problem. Like the answer of what she wants from him could fill up a huge book. The answer I get from what he gets for her, it would leave half the Post-it note that I wrote it on blank.
Right.
Because he doesn't get a whole lot. He just gets me,
right.
you know?
Right. Yeah.
So I ask her, define what that means. And she says, well, he gets this. And we both know what that means. When they go this, right?
The lower nether regions.
Yeah. So think about that, folks. Think about that. Okay. Women and men, honestly, think about that. And I'm not talking about all women, right? I'm talking about most modern women, not all.
Right.
But this is what really grinds my gears, Dwayne. Could you imagine if a woman asked us, so Jimmy, what do you bring to the table? And I said, this.
And bring to the table.
You get
all
this.
Yeah. 45 seconds.
Can you imagine the look on their face if a man answered the question that way? Well, so I'm looking for a husband and I'm dating around and I'm looking for the best kind of man. Can you please explain to me what I get, what you bring to the table? Honey, I'll tell you what, you're in luck today because you get this.
All this.
Bon appetit, baby.
Yeah.
She would look at you like you had 3 eyes, man. She would say to you, well, okay, well then who's going to pay the bills? Can you afford a family? What kind of car do you drive? Are you going to be able to protect me? Can you even fight? What kind of job do you have? Will I feel safe, Dwayne? Will I be proud of you when I take you out with my friends and family? Can I live the lifestyle I want? Will you pay the bills so that way I can chase my dreams? It would be a plethora of questions that she would ask. But
Get this.
Did you forget what?
Yeah,
I already told you this.
Why are we talking still? Shouldn't we be like? Oh,
they would have a whole list to check off, man. But they're over here saying, oh yeah, I bring this. No, ladies, I'm sorry. No, you have to bring more to men than that. If men are expected to go through the unchosen and chosen suffering and they make it out on the other side, then you're going to have to offer way more to a man than what you're just sitting on. Okay. Yeah. Let me share something with the ladies. Okay. For all the ladies out there who complain that men only want one thing. Not trying to be rude, but for those who say men only want one thing, trust me. Okay. Let me reassure you of something. Men don't just want only one thing. They honestly want more than what's between your legs. You want to know what men really want, ladies? We want love. We want support, family, children, purpose, and a reason why we get up so damn early every morning and work so damn hard. That's what we want.
Fidelity.
Okay? Loyalty, femininity,
Yes.
cooperation, and peace. We don't want only what's between your legs because, like I mentioned before, what you're offering us comes standard on all models. We want way more than that. And it's not just punani. We want love and appreciation and respect.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Has it ever occurred to you women that the reason why men only want what's between your legs is because that's the only thing of value that you have to offer?
God, I was talking about this just the other day. Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a dick. Okay. I'm not trying to be rude. But for the women who reoccurringly have this issue with men, trust me, men want more than just one thing. But if a woman cannot bring anything to that man of value other than what she's sitting on, then that will be the only thing he'll want. You have to understand that if you're meeting multiple men and the common denominator is you're going to have to do the same thing that I'm telling these men. You're going to have to go through some chosen suffering and level yourself as well.
You know, you were talking earlier, and it made me think of something. With the whole working hard and suffering and bettering yourself. And I thought like of the kind of the X paradigm where you have women and men, and women are on easy mode and men are on hard mode, and then taking that with the market value of men and women at their respective ages. So I probably should come up with a diagram for this, but on the bottom, and it's not bottom as in the bottom, but say men are on the bottom, women are on top, and the line goes this way for women, and the line down represents time, and then for men it represents up as far as marketplace. When men and women are in their early 20s, women have beauty, that their fitness, their beauty, and men they have whatever they have, and they have to acquire all their things, assets and knowledge and all that, and then over time that X's, crosses, and then it changes, and because men are put on hard mode, they're having to work and suffer, and they keep building themselves, and those successes happen, and then when they get into their 40s